Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Twisted Builds. Today we're going to work on deleting the back seat in my Fiat 500 Turbo. Let's go. Alright guys, so I've decided basically I'm going to delete the back seat in this car for two reasons. One, there's no real practical use for the back seat in this car because it's so small. Two, my daughter did ride in the back seat of it, but she is getting ready to be old enough to not have to ride in the back of it anymore, so no point to have it. Free up some space, might add a little bit more boom to my sound system later on. But anyways, they sell a kit for this. It's almost, I think it's like around $220 or so dollars plus your shipping and taxes, all that great stuff. But I'm gonna try to do it for a fraction of that, DIY basically. So let's jump into it and see what we got to do to get this thing taken apart and drop roughly 50 pounds of weight out of the back of this car. Alright guys, so let me show you what we got. So this will be the before, and yeah, I do have a little sub and stuff back here already, and it came factory with Beats audio, which, you know, it's alright. But anyways, so we're going to delete this back seat. I've got my front seat slid all the way forward, and I already unhooked the battery in the car because we got to pull my sub and amp and all that good stuff has to come out, so we got room to delete all this and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get the amp and sub out of the way and go from there. Alright, so got the sub and amp out, and first things we got to do is pretty much just start unbolting stuff. So I had my amp grounded right there between the seats, if you can see. We're gonna have to find a new ground spot, but there are several things we got to unbolt. There's two bolts down here on both sides that has to come out. That has to come out. These brackets come out on both sides. You don't need them anymore. This will come off of both sides. This here is actually the factory amp for the sub and the regular speakers in the car. But my plan is, when I rip all this out, I actually ordered a bunch of basically sound deadening mat. So we'll see how well it works. I think the one I ordered is like 196 millimeters, so pretty thick. So let's get all this stuff pretty much unbolted and start jerking stuff out of here to see what we got to work with. Have to get a looks like a 16 millimeter socket. One. There's the other. Alright, so that part was pretty simple. Just them 5 bolts and everything come right out. Look here, an old air freshener. So now let's see if we can get the bottom of the seat popped out of there. I think it just pulls out. Maybe it's bolted. Let's see. Yeah, there's 2 bolts in here. There we go. Alright, and then there's our seat. Alright, so got it all out of there, and looks like I got some cleaning to do and stuff like that, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up, and then I'll come back to you when I got that done. So looks like you got another 16mm bolt right there. It's got to come out. So there's that part, and then it looks like you got these 2 Torx heads that has to come out. So T50 Torx. Them things are in there. They must have put some Loctite on them. Oh yeah, definitely had Loctite. So those will pop out, and that comes out, and now you got all this open empty space to do with whatever you want. So now I'm gonna get in here and scrub and clean and vacuum and all that good stuff, and then we'll come back and hopefully start laying some mat. Alright, so I got it all cleaned up, but I'm probably gonna have to let it dry really good, probably overnight, and finish tomorrow, because it was so nasty. I had to take the steam cleaner to it. I don't know what was down underneath there, and for whatever reason I found a bunch of broken glass. So maybe this car's had a broke window at one point, but it definitely looks a lot better. So now I guess before I let this dry all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and start unbolting all these seat belts and brackets and all the stuff we don't need in the car. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so go ahead and take this off. I think it's the same, yep, same size. So there's that one. And there's this one. So there's those out of there. Now we'll have to take these plastics off or get these bolts out through the same kind of thing. All right, so I'm going to try to go ahead and take these off. I think it's just a Phillips head screw underneath it here. Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, Phillips head screw takes that loose. And then I guess we can get in there to get the other part out. So let's see what happens here. Take this side loose. If I can see it. Okay, got that. And the same thing. She just pops loose. So let me see what kind of clips I got to pop loose to get that completely out of there. I was gonna take these loose, but it looks like I gotta pop all these plastics out. And I don't feel like doing all that. So let's go ahead and pull this, I guess, out. Pull this through. And we can get rid of the seat belt. So that one's in there. Let's see what this side does. It pops loose. Pull this through. It's in there. Probably gonna have to get a breaker bar. So I'm gonna go grab a breaker. All right, so I got my 1/2" breaker here. Let's see if we can pop it loose. It moved. Let's see if this side will move. Both moved, so let's see if the impact will do the rest. Woo! Looks like. All right, so them things are definitely Loctite. Woo! I still forgot. I gotta take this off anyways to get to the other part of the seat belt. Son of a gun. All right. Well, go ahead and take this off first. That so far. Now they got to figure out how to get all this other stuff apart. Anyways, let's go ahead and try to figure out how all this comes apart. And go ahead and take this off, I guess.
Hi. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, you're going to have to like go to that chair over there. Ew. Alright guys, what is up? Next day, ran out of daylight and ran into some issues, but nothing major. Just had some strip bolts that I had to deal with, and yeah. But anyways, there is everything completely out of the back of this thing. I did end up taking the factory sub out. I will put it back, but I want to put some sound deadening material behind it and all that stuff. So here is our sound deadening material, and it is made by Vivor, and I looked and looked all over the internet and didn't want to spend a ton of money, and Vevor was by far the cheapest. I got this stuff for, I think it was around 50 bucks, and it's supposed to do 36 square feet or something like that. 35, don't quote me on that. But yeah, it had really good reviews. It is super thick. I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's what I'm going to put down this everywhere back here before we start putting our carpet and all that stuff down. And I actually I bought I know this is going to sound funny, I bought a horse stall mat that's a 1/2 inch thick, and I'm going to put it down in here first and then lay our cardboard and carpet combo down over it. Now I know a lot of times they use like MDF or whatever, but I don't want to make it super heavy, so I'm just using cardboard. So let me crawl up in this thing the best I can, and we'll start cutting this stuff and sticking it. So okay, so I got my big ass back here somehow, not really sure how, but basically I'm gonna start over here in this side here and just start sticking and peeling, and I'm gonna take one and trim it off and put it down in behind all of here and all that good stuff. So yeah, here we go, I guess. Okay guys, so here's the end results. I think it turned out pretty decent. I mean, it's, you know, not by far, I would say, a professionally done job, but it should definitely help with the sound and all that stuff. So next, I'm going to make a big template out of this cardboard that I've got here. And this cardboard I've already drawn. I took the seat and laid it on it and drew where I thought it needed to be cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and then we'll see if I've got it right or I don't have it right. And this is basically what I'm going to use to put the carpet on, is just some cardboard. I've got enough to make it 5 layers thick. So 5 layers of that should be plenty enough to you know, hold up in the back of this for whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and then we'll see how everything fits. All right, guys, so I apologize. I thought I recorded some of this and I didn't, and I got a little carried away and just got to working and just, you know, went to town. I got most of the car done. All the sound deadening is in. I did make my carpet template, and I was doing that outside and it started raining, so I had to rush, so I didn't get to show you guys that part. But basically I made a cardboard template, and then I pretty much cut the carpet 1/2 inch to 1 inch longer than that, so it would, you know, go around the backside and you could glue it down. All I did was use some spray glue, and now I'm in the car, as you can tell, sitting in the back, and I'm getting ready to start bolting everything back together that I can. And I still got to put my amp ground wire, because we moved it, so I got to find a new spot for it. So I found a spot, and I'm also going to put, so these were the brackets that held your seat belts on the bottom. I'm going to put it back. I just cut the belt off because I'm not going to use seat belts anymore. So, you know, they're not going to be here. So I'm just going to keep that. That'll be, I could use that for a tie down or something if I needed, but probably never will. But I'm going to run my amp wire is going to go in behind it like so and bolt into that hole. So I'm going to do that. I got about 4 bolts here I got to tighten up. Then I got to put the plastics back on over here and put some screws back in, and we're pretty much done. And yeah, it turned out pretty decent. It's not, you know, like something that you would have bought manufactured, but for saving almost, we'll say, let's see, so I got 50 bucks in the mat, 25 in the carpet, and just I had the other stuff laying around, so pretty much 70 bucks, give or take, versus 200 and something. So I'll take that any day of the week. Of course, their setup was probably a hell of a lot nicer, and I didn't have to go through all the bullshit I went through, but it's what you do when you're poor. So anyways, let me start bolting this stuff back, and yeah. got her back together, this is how it turned out. Of course, I still got to hook up my amp and sub, but that ain't nothing. So that's what it looks like from this side, and I'll take you around. This is what it looks like from the inside. I think it looks pretty damn good. So that's about it, guys. I know I didn't get to show you as much, but it's pretty straightforward and simple, really. I mean, as long as you have skills. If you don't have a lot of skills, then it's gonna suck. I recommend buying the kit. But anyways, if you don't know, I got a sponsorship through W Energy, and if you go on their website and order anything and you use Twisted Builds 10, get you 10% off of all of their merchandise. That is energy powder, cups, shirts, anything that you can think of on their website. It is pretty cool stuff, pretty good stuff. I've been using it for about 2-3 weeks now, and I definitely feel a difference. I'm a Red Bull fanatic, and it definitely gives me more kick than a Red Bull. So you guys go check them out, and don't forget to use the code TwistedBuilds10 and get 10 off on your purchases. So with that being said, I know I haven't done a video here lately, and I still got stuff going planned to do videos, but I have a sick family member. My grandfather has dementia, and it's been a real struggle. Me and my mom and my daughter are pretty much doing everything we can possible for them, for my grandparents. So my videos may be a lot longer in between me actually getting to edit them and post them and all that great stuff, for me actually doing a new video. So just wanted to keep that in mind. I know you guys don't really give a shit, but that's what's going on. And yeah, but thanks, guys. I definitely think it turned out nice. I got a hell of a mess to clean up now, but yeah, make sure you guys give me a like, subscribe, and that's about it. Peace out, guys.